Prologue. The storm after Caesar's assassination the year 42 BC marked a critical juncture in Roman history, a moment when the lingering shadows of Julius Caesar's assassination in 44 BC took a tangible form in the struggle for power between the forces loyal to Caesar and those who conspired against him. The Battle of Philippi would not only decide the fate of Rome but would also shape the future of its political landscape, paving the way for the rise of a new order under Octavian and Mark Antony. The context of the conflict. The political landscape after Caesar's death. The assassination of Caesar had created a vacuum in Roman leadership, leading to the formation of the Second Triumvirate comprising Octavian, Mark Antony, and Marcus Lepidus. Their alliance was forged in blood, with a common goal to eliminate the conspirators who had plunged Rome into chaos. Gaius Cassius Longinus and Marcus Junius Brutus, two of the leading assassins of Julius Caesar, found themselves at the forefront of the opposition. They rallied their supporters, hoping to restore the Republic to its former glory and eliminate the threat posed by the Triumvirs. Rome was deeply divided between supporters of the Triumvirate and those loyal to Caesar's legacy. The aftermath of the assassination had caused strife and unrest among the populace, creating a fertile ground for conflict. The prelude to battle. Mobilization of forces. Understanding the necessity of decisive action, Antony and Octavian gathered a substantial force, drawing troops from their respective loyalists. They planned to confront Brutus and Cassius on their terms, aiming to deliver a swift blow to the conspirators. Brutus and Cassius were not to be underestimated. They assembled a formidable army, bolstered by veterans and supporters who believed in their cause. The duo took strategic measures to secure their position and fortify their troops. The march to Philippi. As the two factions prepared for war, both armies marched toward Philippi in Macedonia, where they would confront each other. The terrain was challenging, yet it provided a strategic advantage for both sides as they sought to position themselves for battle. As both sides advanced, the rhetoric surrounding the conflict intensified. Antony and Octavian sought to portray their struggle as a fight for justice and the Republic, while Brutus and Cassius positioned themselves as the defenders of freedom against tyranny. The battlefield. Philippi. The geography of Philippi, located in eastern Macedonia, was a site of historical significance and strategic advantage. The landscape consisted of hills and plains, which would play a crucial role in the unfolding conflict. Both sides took measures to fortify their camps. Brutus and Cassius established a stronghold, while Octavian and Antony set up their troops strategically to leverage the terrain to their advantage. The Clash of Titans. The battle begins. The first engagement on the morning of October 3, 42 BC, the first engagement commenced. Antony initiated an assault against Cassius's forces, employing a combination of infantry maneuvers and cavalry charges. Brutus, anticipating an attack, had fortified his position and utilized strategic formations. His troops held strong against the initial wave, showcasing their discipline and training. The dynamics of combat. As the battle raged, chaos ensued. The clashing of swords and the cries of soldiers filled the air, echoing the intensity of the conflict. Both sides fought valiantly, driven by their loyalty to their respective leaders. The battle saw moments of both triumph and despair. Cassius's troops initially held their ground, but as the day progressed, the tides began to turn against them. The turning point. Octavian's strategic moves. Observing the dynamics of the battlefield, Octavian realized that decisive action was needed. He directed his troops to engage Brutus's flank, aiming to cut off reinforcements and create confusion among the enemy ranks. The strategic maneuvers by Octavian proved effective. Cassius's forces began to falter, leading to a significant breach in their line. As the situation deteriorated, Cassius realized that defeat was imminent. The death of Cassius. Overwhelmed by the realization of defeat, Cassius made a fateful decision. He ordered his freedmen to kill him, preferring death over the humiliation of capture. His death sent shockwaves through his army. Cassius's demise was a critical blow to the morale of his troops. The loss of their leader marked a turning point in the battle, leading to a cascade of chaos among the remaining forces. The final confrontation. Brutus's last stand. The assault on Brutus's position. With Cassius out of the picture, Antony redirected his focus to Brutus. The remaining forces of Brutus, although initially holding their ground, faced overwhelming odds as Octavian and Antony's troops advanced. Despite the odds, Brutus fought valiantly. He rallied his remaining forces, urging them to stand firm against the onslaught of Octavian and Antony. His leadership, however, could not compensate for the dwindling numbers. The death of Brutus. As the battle reached its climax, Brutus found himself surrounded. In a moment of desperation, he fell on his sword, choosing death over capture. His final words echoed his belief that he had acted for the Republic, a tragic end for one of Caesar's most trusted allies. Brutus's death marked the end of the battle. With both Cassius and Brutus defeated, the remnants of their forces scattered, leaving Octavian and Antony victorious. The triumph solidified their control over Rome and marked the end of a significant chapter in Roman history.